Hello, Shoyan here. Today, I'll be working on the studs and diagonal braces that aren't installed yet, then move on to installing the door and window frames. The order of construction for modern houses has changed a bit. In the old days, we'd install temporary diagonal braces right after framing a house, then add the permanent ones. Nowadays, load-bearing wall panels are installed on the exterior as soon as framing is done, and these panels act as diagonal braces. This keeps the exterior walls secure, but there aren't any braces in the interior at this stage. In this building, the diagonal braces are installed over the subfloor. Modern pre-cut designs usually follow this method, where both the studs and braces are placed after the subfloor is in place. This means you can't complete the interior bracing until the subfloor is ready. Compared to older methods, this approach takes a little more time to fully brace the structure. If a typhoon were to hit before the braces were installed, it would be pretty nerve-wracking. The interior diagonal braces are secured using hardware designed specifically for bracing. These connect the braces to the columns at the top and bottom. In the past, there was a type of hardware that secured three parts: the sill, the column, and the brace, or the beam, column, and brace. But now, each piece of hardware is designed to secure only two parts, with its strength calculated individually for each joint. We use one type of hardware to connect the brace to the column and another for the column to the beam. If a hold down is used, sometimes there are three different pieces of hardware packed together, leaving barely enough room. Even so, this method makes the structure much stronger. The door and window frames have finally arrived, so I'm starting by installing the front door. The front door of this house is elevated. There will be a wooden deck in front of the entrance leading to the door. Because of this, the entryway floor is only about 60 to 65 millimeters lower than the main floor level. Unlike older designs, where entryways were made to be washed with water, this modern style only needs wiping with a damp or dry cloth. So, the door frame sits directly on the sill, something that was unheard of in the past. Back then, the bottom of the frame would sit 15 to 20 centimeters lower than the sill. But times change, and now homeowners can customize their houses however they like. That's a great thing. The most surprising thing about this front door is its color. I've never seen a shade of blue like this before. At first, I thought it was covered with protective tape, but it turns out that's the actual color. It's unique and great to look at. The lock is electronic, so it can be opened and closed from inside the house with a switch or a remote control. When I install doors, I make sure they're perfectly square. I carefully measure the diagonal lengths to the millimeter for accuracy. For sliding doors, you can adjust them slightly by raising or lowering them, but hinged doors need extra care to get them just right. Every time I work on door or window frames, I struggle with the screw used for securing the frame. The countersink on the frame is sized to fit the screw head perfectly. If it shifts even by 0.1 millimeters, the frame also shifts. I feel like reducing the countersink width by 0.1 to 0.2 millimeters would make the finish much cleaner. I still don't fully understand why the current size is standard. Next, I'm installing 1.8 meter sliding glass doors in 2 locations. Large sliding glass doors are great, but they've become less common lately. Similarly, traditional sliding windows with overlapping sides are being replaced by casement or awning windows. These newer designs push outward or inward, a bit like a submarine hatch. These designs are more cost-effective and airtight, which fits the trend of improved air sealing. Also, since aluminum frames were replaced by vinyl ones, not only the frame but also windows have been delivered to the site. That means carpenters are responsible for installing the entire window, not just the frame. If you have 2 people, it's doable. But for 1 person, installing a 1.8 meter window isn't possible. This change has made the installation a lot harder. Now, for the last barrier to prevent water leaks, I apply waterproofing tape to the window frame between the beams and columns. This tape directs any water outside, keeping it from getting into the building. In the past, without this tape, second-floor windows often leaked. Water would seep behind the frames and drip through the screw holes into the interior. This tape might seem like a small detail, but it protects against leaks for 40 to 50 years, essentially an entire generation. With the studs, diagonal braces, windows, and the door installed, the house will be protected from rain. I'll work on the interior next time. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.